I've got a very playful watch here on the channel today. Look at this color. It's fluorescent green. This is cool. This is really cool. In fact, some of the words that come to mind is playful, colorful, vibrant, and extremely comfortable. This is an extremely comfortable watch. Bear in mind, the watch doesn't come on this bracelet. This is an optional extra, and I'll explain that. The watch actually comes on a rubber strap. It's a semi-integrated feel because the case design itself allows for this integrated strap and bracelet. However, there's also a link available that you can attach to this watch, which allows you to put any 20mm strap. So that's a pretty cool thing. Now, it's not all been roses. Although I've had fun with this watch, it's been extremely comfortable. This has been a delight to wear. There are some areas that this watch definitely can benefit from, and I'm going to share that in my gripes and room for improvement section. Now, Officina Technica has sponsored this video, so I will of course leave the links in the description section. If this watch interests you, by all means feel free to check them out. And getting straight onto their website, you can see that there's quite a few different colorways of this watch, and 2 of them feature a high-grade La Joux movement. They also come standard with the bracelet and 1200 Vickers hardness coating on both the watch and bracelet. With the model that I'm concerned with, which is called the San Felice, this bright fluorescent green. It's a less expensive watch. It comes with a premium Miyota 9039 and does not feature 1200 Vickers hardness coating on that case. However, on the optional bracelet that I'm wearing this watch in, it does have that coating on the bracelet. So an interesting combination. It is a little bit cheaper. It comes in at €750, that's including VAT, and around €615 without it. So price-wise, I think it is a little bit north of where it should be for a Miyota movement, but that said, the finishing, the execution has been on a very high level. Now, diving straight into the specs of this watch, I measure a case diameter of 40mm and a case height of 13.4. Also, that lug-to-lug comes in at 47.2. Now, the crown is a 6.5mm signed screw-down crown. The watch offers 300 meters of water resistance, and the total weight on this bracelet, sized to my 18cm wrist, I measure exactly 137 grams. And I've got to be honest, it does wear smaller than the spec suggests. It does not look like a 40mm on my wrist. In fact, I thought it was around 38, 39mm. The side profile of this case actually looks very thin, and it wears thin. So that's been really comfortable on top of the wrist, but on the bottom of the wrist, that bracelet is fantastic. I seriously cannot praise the bracelet design and that clasp enough. That clasp really requires high praise. It's thin, it's petite, it's integrated well, it's got more than enough adjustment on it, and the wonderful articulation of that bracelet just adds to an overall fantastic wrist experience. Now, wearing on the watch on the rubber strap, I do also like its look. It changes it up, makes it a little bit more sporty. It really goes well in water activities and as a general sports watch. Again, I haven't had any issues with comfort. However, for me, the hero has been this bracelet. It is that good. I cannot speak highly enough. It's optional, I understand, but it's well worth the money. Now, turning the watch over, you notice a solid case back with some very good attention to detail. As you can see, 300 meters of water resistance. And hiding behind the caseback is that Miyota 9039, around 42 hours. It's been running solid and healthy, and I think an ideal choice if you're trying to keep a watch very thin. They've chosen the right movement. Now, if I turn my attention to that bezel, it is a 120-click unidirectional bezel. It's got a sapphire insert, which is lume filled, and the action is, well, for a better word, extremely precise and very satisfying. It feels very good in the hand with barely minimal backplay, and it locks into place with a very satisfying feel. Now, looking at the side profile of this case, you'll notice that that crystal is a double dome sapphire crystal. And whether or not they've chosen the right crystal for this watch, well, for me, that's debatable. It features blue anti-reflective coating, and it does seem to pick up quite a bit of reflections. And I'll speak more about that in my room for improvement section. And lastly, looking at the lume of this watch, I think here they've done very well. The watch features Swiss Superluminova C1A grade. It is bright, it is legible, and I think it suits this watch. And I think on this production version, they've done really well. So top marks in that department. Now, all that said, guys, what are my gripes or room for improvement of this watch? And first and foremost, legibility. And that's a twofold thing I want to speak about. Number one, if you notice the hour hand, it's black, it's very small, and sometimes it can get lost in that dial. And when I say a twofold issue with legibility, that double dome sapphire, it just seems to be picking up too many reflections. It's got blue anti-reflective coating, which honestly I think they could have done better in this department. So marrying up the small hour hand and those reflections, sometimes you will suffer from legibility. Now, second observation I've had with this watch throughout the week, that insert being a sapphire insert on that bezel, it's lume filled, and being very light green and white lumed markers, you can barely see the markers. It predominantly looks like a solid green, which is a nice color. It's actually very fluorescent. I love it, but you really have to look twice to find those markers. And in the bezel's defense, when you do walk into a dark environment or a dim room, the lume comes up beautifully. It really shines. And last thing I want to mention is that price. I think it is a little bit north of where it should be for a Miyota. In the watch's defense, it is finished well. For me, I would have preferred potentially this case to have 1200 Vickers on it. Then I could have justified that price. I know that the La Joux-Perret version does have 1200 Vickers on that case. I just think it would have made the price a little bit more palatable in the Miyota version as well. But overall, I've got to say the handling, the wearing experience, the finishing, the finesse of this watch is actually very good. Everything just works, and it seems to work very well. I think other suppliers and manufacturers can get ideas from this brand's bracelet. The bracelet design and that clasp is exactly what you'd need for something. If you're looking for comfort as well as practicality and usability, functionality, this is the bracelet. It's done really, really well. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. My take on this Officina Tecniche, the San Felice, a little bit of Oris vibes, a very good footprint at 40mm. It does wear smaller, as I mentioned. Very comfortable. And the fact that they've got different layouts and colors, as well as two different types of movements, offers up a nice world of variety and obviously budget. So hit me up in the comments, guys. Let me know what you think of this watch. A fun, playful, and very vibrant watch. Extremely comfortable for a sports watch. And apart from a couple of small tweaks regarding legibility, obviously dial and color dependent, I think this watch is quite an attractive design and overall layout. So be well and continue to enjoy this hobby and whatever watches you have in your watch box, and we'll see you all in the next one.